Kreashon is here to ignite change and empower innovators. We envision a future where individuals are empowered to think critically and creatively, where citizens become agents of change by promoting self governance, co creation, and bottom up approaches. Welcome to our podcast. I am your host and founder of Kreashon, Maanarak of Gray, alias Radinka Ustasia. And today I will be introducing to you this concept of Kreashon. And I'll tell you a bit about myself, my background, where this idea originated from, how it developed, and where we are now, and what we're going to be doing in the future. Let's start with who I am. As I said, I'm Maanarak of Gray. This is my artist name. And my legal name is Radinka Ustasia. And I am an individual that was born and raised in the Caribbean on the island of Bonaire. When I was 19, I moved to the Netherlands to study. And study I did. I studied tourism at first, and then I had a year of business and small business study. Before I found that study to be a bit too economic for my taste. Too heavily focused on economy without thinking about the environment and people. And that is where I switched to international development management. And this is a bachelor program that I finished. This is the last study that I finished. And a thing that I did because a part of me always wanted to do something creative. In my third year, I found myself craving for being for creativity. And this is where I did my minor in creativity and art. And my major is in regional development and innovation. And this means that I'm trained to facilitate processes and programs or to manage projects that have to do with development of specifically a region, but I can manage other things. Um, but it's very broad. That means that I'm more equipped with those skills of how to manage these projects, how to um, mobilize people, how to do research, especially um, what they call action research, which means that I would go into a community and essentially find out what their needs are and then build the project from there. And in 2020, I finished my studies of international development management and I started my business as Maanarak of Gray, and I published my book, and I've been building up my artistic career ever since. But this part of me always yearned to do something for and with a community. And before this idea started growing as okay, well, maybe we're a community of artists, doing artivism and bringing awareness to things. But as this idea grew, I thought, no, it really has to involve people from all walks of lives, especially from marginalized groups. And that is where that developed. So the first name, to give you an example, the first name of this idea was the anomaly because it was still very vague. And then the second name was Duna Community, as I thought Duna means to give in my language of Papiamento. So I was like, okay, it's a community that gives, we're giving back to our community. So Duna. And then that also didn't resonate with my ultimate vision for this community. So finally, the idea came to call it Kreashon, and Kreashon translated from Papiamento to English means creation. Why did I choose this name? Well, I chose this name because we are creating together. We're creating art, we're creating new ways of education, new ways of living together with other humans, but also with our environment, with the planet, with nature. Um, and we are educating people about this. That's why I find the name Creación to be much more fitting of the vision that I have for this community. And and thus I continued. And before I knew it was gonna be offline and online, like hybrid situation going on, and it'll be like um, global or at least networking globally. And of course, the online part will be publishing the research and education, so it's available globally. And yeah, so I had that, and then last December I went back home and I saw the opportunity to do this project back home. Back home is in Bonaire, and I decided to move back. So that is where we are now with Kreashon. I am working on really solidifying the concept of Kreashon. I made a project plan, I set up our website, and I'm working on the crowdfunding campaign um, in order to really get this going, get the ball. I mean, the ball is already rolling, but to really get started, to set up the location on Bonaire and really start getting the community involved and start gathering research data and making educational material from it. Um, and yes, so since it's materializing, we are starting with this podcast to inform you more about what is Kreashon, what is the vision behind it, what do we do, or what do we intend to do essentially with our with this organization. And another thing we will be doing is bringing you inspirational stories with people from our network, people that are part of the Creation community that are out there doing good, doing things such as climate activism, people that are working in the field of regenerative agriculture, people that are doing things such as zero waste management. So I have a broad network of people in the development sector that are actively out there changing the paradigm, changing our way of living so that it is more harmonious with our planet. And I would love to introduce you to them, for you to hear the stories of what is going on. A lot of it is behind the scenes. A lot of a lot of it does not get the spotlight it deserves, and I hope to change that and bring that to you. Um, Yeah, so a little bit more about the physical, the hub, the first Creation hub, which will be in Bonaire. I hope to have more hubs, maybe in the Caribbean, maybe globally. This will, of course, depends on the community and how we co-create this organization going forward. Because of course I'm starting it, I'm bringing you the spark, but my intention is to really have a community around this organization that is setting the intention forward. And so this very first hub will be the Kreashon head office, and it will also have activities for the local community of Bonaire, such as workshops, trainings. Let me reiterate: the workshops would be like in terms of climate change, or talking about climate change, but also talking about how we grow our own food to be more resilient in the sense of food security. So it's a broad spectrum of things that have to do with our social, environmental, and economical realities and systems. And yeah, how can we make them work better for us and the planet? And so those are workshops that we will be having. Along with that, a vertical garden to also facilitate, especially as part of food and food growing, looking at things such as plants that are more resistant to salt, which is a thing that we have to consider when we're talking about a Caribbean island. Um, and aside from that, we have trainings. I am a skilled facilitator. I am a member of the International Association of Facilitators. And this too is one of the organizations that I would love to bring to Bonaire and train more facilitators to facilitate processes such as the action research, or things like multi stakeholder processes. That is where you bring people with different stakes, different um, points of interest in one big issue, and we bring them together and we see how can we resolve this in a way that is fair for everyone. Another thing that we will be doing is that we have a studio, a media studio, where we can do things like record a podcast, but also record educational material. Um, and yeah, those are the basic things. Also, a co-creation space where people can come and co-work together and create for these sustainable solutions. And then you have the online component, as I said, which is basically the data hub with the research information, with the educational information on it that is available globally. And that is where we are going. Where I am now is still in the Netherlands. I am moving in a couple of months, and I am currently working on the crowdfunding campaign so that I can get to Bonaire and start this project. And for the crowdfunding campaign, I am making a book for the backers of the crowdfunding campaign, and it will be exclusively available for the backers of this campaign. The book is called Centella, which is a play on the word centella in Spanish, and I just papimentified it, which means that I wrote it um, instead of CENTELLA, I wrote it SENTEA. Um, why? Because it's the name of the main character, and she, I imagine, is a spark in the doom and gloom that a lot of us see lately, in terms of like the crises, not only climate crisis, but economic crisis, political crises that are going on at the moment. And I hope that by imagining someone from a future generation telling back to us her story, how she lived, how she and how humanity survived in the future, from now until the future, that this can bring a spark of hope that there is most definitely things that we can do. Um, and that there's actions that we can take. We can want a different paradigm. We can want a different world to live in. We can want deeper connections with each other and with the planet, and we can make it happen. So that is the world that I'm daring to imagine with Cynthia, and that is the book that will be exclusively available for the backers of Kreashon, that we are offering as reward, as a thank you, as a gift for helping us make this vision a reality. Um, if you want to know more about this campaign, you can sign up for our event that is going to come up on the 4th of October. And in this event, we'll have a panel with people that are on the forefront of the climate crisis, actually taking positive action each day. And we will be talking about um, the the climate crisis. What is it? Can we still do something about it? And what exactly can we do about it communally, but also individually? Because I think both are essential. Um, and on that day, you will learn uh, more or see more about what we want to do. In the meantime, and then after that event, we will continue with this podcast as well. Another thing about signing up for the event is that you will be a part of our mailing list, and you will be staying updated for as soon as the crowdfunding campaign comes out. You will get an update. So I'm excited to bring you along with me on this journey, to start this community together, to co create it together. So stay tuned for more updates. Stay tuned for new episodes of the Kreashon podcast. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to me and getting this first inside look into what have I been working on. um, until next time on the Kreashon podcast. Bye.